Shall I? Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to the webinar session for the senior intermediate students in Maths 2A, Lesson 2, Complex Numbers. The speaker, Mrs. V. Ushasri, PGT Mathematics, TSMS RC Puram, Sangareddy. Madam will continue the complex numbers chapter. So all the students may take note of it and join the session with all your required pen, pencil, etc. So madam, please, over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Here I'm back with the second lesson of complex numbers, children. Hope you have enjoyed the previous session. I'm very happy that you could solve many problems what we have discussed. Let us recall what we have discussed in the previous session. Complex numbers and its group properties like associative, identity, inverse, commutative properties under addition and multiplication. Then we have seen the representation of a complex number in A plus IB form. We have also discussed little about conjugate of a complex number. Okay. Today, we will try to solve some problems including this conjugate of complex numbers concept. And we will try to find out the square root of a complex number and also some problems on square root of a complex number. We will try to see how the general format to find out the square root of a complex number is. And we will try to apply the formula method and the general method without formula to find the square root of a given complex number. Now, before we get into the concept of square roots, we will try to see the problem which we have left on the other day, writing the complex number in A plus IB form. Here is a problem, children. Write the following complex numbers in the form of A plus IB. 1 plus 2i whole cube. It's looking like A plus B whole cube, children. So you are given with 1 plus 2i whole cube. First, let us see what's the formula for A plus B whole cube. A cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. Then we'll try to expand this 1 plus 2i whole cube according to this formula. Then we have 1 cube plus 3 into 1 square plus 2i plus 3 into 1 into 2i whole square plus 2i whole cube. We have 1 cube is 1. Then 3 into 1 is 3. 3 into 2, 6i. Then we have, let us expand this first. 2 square is 4i square, isn't it? 4i square into 3, it gives 12i square. And here it is 2 cube, which is 8. I cube is I cube. Okay, so we have 1 plus 6i plus 12i square plus 8i cube. As we already know, I square is minus 1. So when I substitute minus 1 over here, we'll have it as 12 into minus 1, which gives you minus 12. And I cube, we have discussed about this. We have discussed this in the previous session, children. I cube is I square into I, isn't it? So instead of this I square, we will substitute minus 1. Then we have, when we go for minus 1 over here, we'll get it as minus 8i, right? 1 minus 12 is minus 11. Then 6i minus 8i, which is nothing but minus 2i. So whatever may be the problem, when you are given with a complex number directly, it will be in the form of A plus IB. But if it has got some expansion, first you need to do that. Then rearrange the terms in the form of some real part plus I into the imaginary part. Okay, A plus IB form. If you have any denominator for a given problem, in the denominator, we will always see to it that it doesn't have the I term. If you have I, then you need to multiply with its conjugate. then get it back to A plus IB form. Whatever may be the problem, the first and foremost thing you need to take care of in complex numbers is see to it that the denominator of the given problem doesn't have I in the denominator. A very important point to be noted in this chapter. Then we'll see how to write the conjugates of the given complex numbers as I was discussing. See, whenever a problem is given to you, first you try to bring this problem to a form where you find one single complex number. Here you have product of two complex numbers. So when you are reducing it, that means you are simplifying the problem and you are getting the problem into A plus IB form. So you are given with 2 plus 5i, 2 plus 5i minus 2 plus 5i into minus 4 plus 6i. You know how to go with multiplication, children? 2 into minus 4 is minus 8. 2 into 6i, that is 12i. 5i into minus 4 is minus 20i. Then you have 5i into 6i, which is 30i square. Right. So minus 8, 12i minus 20i is minus 8i. 30 into I square is minus 1. So 30 into minus 1 is minus 30. So minus 8 minus 30, it gives you minus 38 minus 8i. We have simply reduced this problem to A plus IB form. Still, we didn't write the conjugate. I was discussing in the previous session, whenever you are given with a complex number in the form A plus IB, the conjugate of the complex number will be A minus IB. Now here your A is minus 38 and your B is 8i, isn't it? This is A minus 38 and you have minus 8i. So the conjugate of this complex number is minus 38. Instead of this minus, you will be getting plus. If it is A plus IB, you are getting it as A minus IB. If you are given with A minus IB, then it should be A plus IB as a conjugate. So the conjugate of minus 38 minus 8i is minus 38 plus 8i. Now we'll see one more problem, children. 5i by 7 plus I. I was discussing about this, children. 7 plus I should not be there in the denominator. So to remove this I from the denominator, we are multiplying with its conjugate. See, when we are doing it, we are multiplying and dividing with 7 minus I. Then we'll start simplifying. Our denominator looks like A plus B into A minus B. So you have 7 square minus I square. 7 is your A and B is I, isn't it? So A plus B into A minus B, which is nothing but A square minus B square. So 7 square minus I square. And in the numerator, 5I into 7 is 35I minus 5I into I is 5I square. Instead of I square, we'll substitute minus 1, children. So 35I minus 5 into minus 1 divided by 7 square is 49 minus I square is minus 1. Still further, 35I plus 5, isn't it? And 49 plus 1, which is 50. So 35I plus 5. From these terms, I will take 5 common. So I will get it as 1 plus 7i. 5 and 50, they get cancelled, children. So you will have it as 1 plus 7i by 10. 5 ones and 5 10 times. So 5i by 7 plus I is 1 by 10 plus I into 7 by 10. What is the problem actually? We need to write the conjugate of this complex number. We have simply reduced this given problem into A plus IB form first, right? After reducing it into A plus IB form, now we will try to write what is its conjugate. The conjugate of this complex number will be 1 by 10 minus I into 7 by 10. Right? Hope you got it. Now, we'll look into another problem this problem is in the form of a quadratic equation which includes complex numbers. Okay, when we were dealing with quadratic equations, we have seen only with real coefficients. Now we'll try to see when we have complex numbers in the coefficients which are there in quadratic equation. Now the question is, if the sum of the squares of the roots of the equation x square plus p plus iq into x plus 3i equal to 0 is 8, then find the value of p and q where p comma q are real. See, I was mentioning when I was talking about complex number. In a complex number, if it is in the form of a plus ib, a is real, b is real. But still, we are calling a as real part. And imaginary part, whenever we talk of, it includes ib. I is making some difference, children. I is nothing but root of -1. So root of -1 into that b gives you the imaginary part. So here you have some ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 form. This is a quadratic equation whose coefficients are in the form of a complex number. Now, let us see the problem. You are given with alpha square plus beta square equal to 8. What is this alpha and beta here in the problem? Alpha and beta, you are very familiar. For a quadratic equation, we will consider alpha and beta as the roots. Now, sum of the squares of the roots of the equation. The roots of the equation are alpha and beta. So we are squaring the roots, then we are adding. Then the sum is given as 8. So alpha square plus beta square is equal to 8 is the condition given to us. Not only that, when you have a quadratic equation, we know that sum of the roots is minus b by a and product of the roots is c by a, isn't it? Here our a is 1, b is p plus iq, c is 3i. So alpha plus beta is nothing but minus your b is p plus iq and a is 1. So alpha plus beta is minus of p plus iq and product of the roots is c by a. Alpha beta is equal to c is 3i, a is 1. So 3i by 1 is 3i only. So alpha plus beta we know, alpha into beta we know. And not only that, the extra condition what we are given with is alpha square plus beta square is equal to 8. So we'll just consider alpha plus beta whole square, children. Alpha plus beta whole square is nothing but minus of p plus iq whole square. We will expand this alpha plus beta whole square by taking a plus b whole square formula. Then we have alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta is equal to minus square is anyhow plus. Then p plus iq will be again a plus b whole square form. So p square plus iq whole square plus 2p into iq. We'll further expand this. Alpha square plus beta square is nothing but 8. We are just substituting. Then alpha into beta is 3i. Then we'll take it as 8 plus 2 into 3i is equal to p square. I square is minus 1. So I square is minus and q square plus I into 2pq. Now just observe these two. When we were discussing equation, I mean, when do you say two complex numbers will be equal? When real part is equal to real and imaginary part is equal to imaginary. Here you are getting a complex number on the left hand side, and on the right hand side also you have a complex number, and there is equal to symbol in between. That means real part should be equated to real and imaginary part should be equated to imaginary, right? Then I can definitely take p square minus q square is 8. That means I am equating the real part, and imaginary part 2pq is nothing but 2 into 3, which is 6. right? Now, PQ is 3. We'll just get back. 2PQ is equal to 6, isn't it? So PQ is equal to 3. PQ is equal to 3. Then we can write P square Q square is equal to 9 by squaring on both sides. We will consider this equation, children, P square plus Q square whole square. Why we are taking P square plus Q square whole square? The reason is, when you have seen the previous slide, you have everything in the square form. P square minus Q square is equal to 8, isn't it? We don't have P plus Q or P minus Q as such. So we will try to calculate P square minus Q square we have. So we will try to calculate P square plus Q square. So P square plus Q square whole square is equal to P square minus Q square whole square plus 4P square Q square. Now, this is something like A plus B whole square is equal to A minus B whole square plus 4AB, right? Now, P square plus Q square whole square is equal to, we have calculated P square minus Q square as 8. So we are just substituting, and P square Q square is 9. So this is 4 into 9. P square plus Q square whole square is equal to 64 plus 36, which is 100. Then P square plus Q square is equal to 10. Now, we have P square minus Q square is equal to 8. And we have P square plus Q square is equal to 10. We will try to simplify these two equations. We have P square minus Q square is equal to 8 and P square plus Q square is equal to 10. When we solve it, Q square minus Q square and plus Q square, they get cancelled. We are left with P square plus P square, which is 2P square, and 8 plus 10, which is 18. 2P square is equal to 18. Then P square is equal to 9. When P square is equal to 9, we can say P is equal to plus or minus 3. When P is taking the value as 3, we will just substitute 3 in the place of P. You are getting Q is equal to 1. And when P is taken as minus 3, then the value of Q is minus 1. That means you are getting P as plus or minus 3, Q as plus or minus 1. Therefore, P is equal to plus or minus 3 and Q is equal to plus or minus 1. Our question is to find out P and Q, children. So we have calculated P and Q. So this is an interesting problem which is relating the complex numbers and the quadratic equations. Now the next concept what we are discussing is square root of a complex number. Now if Z is equal to A plus IB, then square root of A plus IB, that means root of the complex number, is given by square root of A square plus B square plus A by 2, square root of A square plus B square minus A by 2. Now that means the real part you are getting a plus sign in between here. The only difference is for real part you are getting plus and the imaginary part you are getting minus, right? So the square root of any complex number is again in the form of complex number only. Now how we are getting this formula, we will try to see the proof, children. We'll say let root of A plus IB is equal to plus or minus X plus IY. We'll take squaring on both sides. When we take squaring on both sides, you have A plus IB is equal to X plus IY whole square. Plus and minus, whatever it may be, when you take whole square, it becomes positive, right? We'll expand this. You will have it as X square plus I square Y square, X plus IY whole square, isn't it? X square plus iy whole square plus 2x into iy. A plus ib, it will be equal to x square. I square is minus 1. So minus 1 into y square is minus y square plus I into 2xy. So a plus ib is equal to x square minus y square plus I into 2xy. Here again, the same concept what we have discussed in the previous problem. We are equating real part with real and imaginary with imaginary. That means you are comparing the like terms on both sides. Then you have x square minus y square is equal to a and 2xy is equal to b. Okay, x square minus y square is equal to a and 2xy is equal to b. Then we will call x square minus y square is equal to a as equation 1 and 2xy is equal to b. We'll take it as equation number 2. Then we'll just consider this relation x square plus y square whole square is equal to x square minus y square whole square plus 4x square y square. Here again the formula a plus b whole square is equal to a minus b whole square plus 4ab. We will just substitute the values, children. X square minus y square is nothing but a. So you are getting it as a square plus 4x square y square is nothing but square of this, isn't it? 2xy whole square is 4x square y square. So which is nothing but b square. Now x square plus y square whole square is a square plus b square. Then when you remove that square, that is x square plus y square, it becomes root of a square plus b square. We'll call this as equation number 3. We will add equation 1 and equation 3, children. Your equation 1 is what? X square minus y square is equal to a. Isn't it? And your equation 3 is what? X square plus y square is equal to root of a square plus b square. So we are just doing that. X square minus y square plus x square plus y square is equal to a plus root of a square plus b square. We are adding LHS with LHS and RHS with RHS. Then we will have it as y square and minus y square, they get cancelled, children. 2x square. X square plus x square is 2x square, right? Is equal to root of a square plus b square plus a. We'll take 2 to the other side. Then it gives you x square is equal to root of a square plus b square plus a divided by 2. But we want only x. So we'll take square root of it. So x is equal to root again in the numerator here, root of a square plus b square plus a by 2. Likewise, we will try to calculate y also by subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. Our equation 3 is x square plus y square, children. Our equation 1 is x square minus y square with a minus sign in front of it. The signs change. So x square plus y square minus x square plus y square. So here on the right hand side, you have root of a square plus b square minus a, right? Then x square and minus x square, they get cancelled. You will have it as 2y square is equal to root of a square plus b square minus a. Then what is y square? Root of a square plus b square minus a by 2. Then this implies y is nothing but root a square plus b square minus a divided by 2. Therefore, square root of a plus ib, which is in the form of x plus iy, is given by the formula root a square plus b square plus a by 2 and root a square plus b square minus a by 2. Okay, so this is the derivation for calculating the square root of a complex number. Now, when a problem is given to you, this problem is a definite question, children, in your intermediate exam. If you can remember the formula, it's well and good. By taking the formula directly, you can do the problem. Otherwise, whatever process we have followed in proving this problem, proving this general formula, the same process can be followed for solving the problem also. We will take one example. Find the square root of minus 5 plus 12i. We will just consider let root of minus 5 plus 12i is equal to plus or minus x plus iy. We will take squaring on both sides, children. Then you will have it as minus 5 plus 12i is equal to x square plus 2xiy plus iy whole square. We'll have it as minus 5 plus 12i is equal to x square plus I into 2xy minus I square. Why this minus? Because of this I square, isn't it? I square is minus 1. So plus into that minus gives you minus y square. We'll rearrange this. Minus 5 plus 12i is equal to x square minus y square plus I into 2xy. By comparing the like terms on both sides, you will have it as x square minus y square is equal to 5i and 2xy is equal to 12. Then we will take these two as equation 1 and 2, children. We will consider x square plus y square whole square is equal to x square minus y square whole square plus 4x square y square. We are just substituting x square minus y square as minus 5 and 2xy whole square is 12 square. 5 square 25 plus 12 square 144, which is 169. Therefore, you will have x square plus y square is equal to root of 169, which is nothing but 13. We will call this as equation number 3. By adding equation 1 and 3, that is x square minus y square plus x square plus y square, we are getting it as minus 5 plus 13, which is nothing but 8. Okay, these two are getting cancelled, right? So you have 2x square is equal to 8. That means x square is equal to 4. So x is equal to 2. Then we'll go for subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. We'll have x square plus y square minus x square plus y square is equal to 13 minus of minus 5, which is plus 5 now. So 13 plus 5 gives you 18. X square and minus x square, they are getting cancelled here. So you have 2y square is equal to 18. So y square is equal to 9, implies y is equal to 3. Right? We got x and y values. Therefore, root of minus 5 plus 12y is nothing but plus or minus 2 plus 3i. See, in solving this problem, exactly the steps what we have taken to prove the general formula, the same steps we have considered, children. Of course, this is a lengthy one, but there is no risk of remembering the formula and all, right? Now, I mean, what I want to say here is if you remember the formula for multiple choice, it will be always useful. But if you by chance forget the formula, you can always prefer this process. We will also take the formula method. We know if z is equal to a plus ib, then root of a plus ib is equal to plus or minus square root of root a square plus b square plus a by 2 plus I into root of root a square plus b square minus a by 2. The same question I am taking. Find the square root of minus 5 plus 12i. Just we will take a is equal to minus 5 and b is equal to 12 and we will substitute in the formula. So root of minus 5 plus 12i is equal to plus or minus square root of minus 5 whole square plus 12 square plus of minus 5 divided by 2, and plus I into root minus 5 whole square plus 12 whole square minus of minus 5 divided by 2. I want you to throw some attention on this formula. Don't get confused. There is square root for the total term including numerator and denominator. And in the numerator, under the root, you have another root which is for only a square and b square, children. Please try to understand this and try to remember. The square root which is outside is covering the total fraction. Okay, which is inside the root, it is taking only in the numerator for a square plus b square only. Okay, then minus 5 whole square is 25. 25 plus 12 square is 144, which is 25 plus 144 gives you 169. Root of 169 is 13, right? So 25 plus 144 minus plus into minus is minus 5 divided by 2. And here again, root of 25 plus 144 minus of minus plus 5 divided by 2. Of course, you have root for the total term. Then this is 13 minus 5, children. 13 minus 5 is 8 by 2, isn't it? This is 8. Numerator is 8 by 2 under root. And here it is 13 plus 5, 18 by 2 under root. So 8 by 2 is 4. 4 root of 4 is 2. And 18 by 2 is 9. Root 9 is 3. So you have square root of minus 5 plus 12i is nothing but plus or minus 2 plus 3i. We'll take another problem. If x plus iy whole power 1 by 3 is equal to a plus ib, x, y, a, b, they belong to the real number set. Then we have to show that x by a plus y by b is equal to 4 into a square minus b square. Right? This problem can be considered for 4 marks, children, for your IPE exams. Now, let us take the given equation, that is x plus iy whole power 1 by 3 is equal to a plus ib. See, your power is a fraction, isn't it? So this is third order root, that is 1 by 3 in the power. So this 1 by 3 can be removed only by cubing on both sides. Then we have, when we cube on both sides, x plus iy whole power 1 by 3 whole power 3. Then that 3 and 3, they get cancelled. A power m whole power n, isn't it? So you will be left with only x plus iy. And on the right hand side, you will have a plus ib whole cube. Now, a plus ib whole cube can be expanded as a cube plus 3a square into ib, that is 3a square b plus 3ab square term, isn't it? 3 your a into ib whole square plus ib whole cube. We'll expand it further. A cube plus I into 3a square b. I'm just writing this I in the front, children. Then this is 3a I square and b square. I square b square plus I cube b cube. Instead of this I square, I will write minus 1. So that minus 1 is giving you minus here. So this is a cube plus I into 3a square b minus 3ab square. I cube here is nothing but I square into I, which is minus I. I told you to remember this, children. I power 4 is equal to 1 also to be remembered to make our calculations easy. Right. So I cube is nothing but minus I and b cube. So we will just rearrange these terms like real part plus I into some imaginary part. So x plus iy is equal to a cube minus 3a square b. That means all the terms without I will be clubbed together and we will consider it as real part. So x plus iy is equal to a cube minus 3a square b plus I into 3a square b minus b cube. Now, when you compare real and imaginary parts on both sides, you will have x is equal to what did we get? A cube minus 3ab square, isn't it? From both the terms, you will have, you can take out a common, then you will have it as a into a square minus 3b square. And likewise, for y is equal to 3a square b minus b cube, out of those terms, if you take b common, you will have it as b into 3a square minus b square. This a we will send to the left hand side. It goes to the denominator, isn't it? So x by a is equal to a square minus 3b square and y by b is equal to 3a square minus b square. Now what is that? We need to calculate x by a plus y by b. So we will add both of them. X by a plus y by b is equal to a square minus 3b square plus 3a square minus b square. A square plus 3a square, it becomes 4a square minus 3b square minus b square. It becomes minus 4b square. So from both the terms, if you can take 4 common, you will get a square minus b square into 4. So we finally proved it as x by a plus y by b is equal to 4 into a square minus b square. We'll consider another problem, children. If u plus iv, this is again important for 4 marks. If u plus iv is equal to 2 plus I by z plus 3 and z is equal to x plus iy, then find u and v. This is the question. Now just observe, when you are given with z is equal to x plus iy, let us think that we are substituting z here. That means you are getting I in the denominator, right? So let us see how the problem goes. You are given with u plus iv is equal to 2 plus I by z plus 3. We will just substitute z is equal to x plus iy, right? So we will get 2 plus I by x plus iy plus 3. Rearrange the terms in the denominator like a real part plus imaginary part. Then you will have it as 2 plus I by x plus 3 plus iy. Now, for x plus 3 plus iy, the conjugate is x plus 3 minus iy by x plus 3 minus iy. Here, suppose if you are not rearranging it, it will be difficult to write your conjugate, children. And why we are multiplying and dividing with the conjugate here? Not to leave I in the denominator. That is the condition, the prerequisite condition what we have seen. Now, in the denominator, it looks like a plus b into a minus b. Then we will take it as x plus 3 whole square minus iy whole square. In the numerator, we will multiply the terms 2 into x plus 3 minus 2 into iy is minus 2iy plus I into x plus 3 plus into minus, which is minus I into iy is I square y. Now, wherever possible, we will try to substitute the value for I, like if the power is more than 1. Right. We will expand this 2 into x, that is 2x, 2 into 3, which is 6, minus 2iy plus I into x is ix, I into 3 plus 3i. This I square is minus 1. Already we have a minus, so it becomes plus y. And in the denominator, the I square part is becoming -1. So -1 into this minus, it becomes plus. So you have it as x plus 3 whole square plus y square. Now we will try to arrange the terms in the form of a plus ib, children. You have 2x plus y plus 6. These are the three terms without I. So we are just taking in one bracket. And this denominator I'm separating here itself. So 2x plus y plus 6 divided by x plus 3 whole square plus y square plus. Now all the I terms I'm clubbing in the next part, that is plus I into, when I take I, x term here, and then minus 2y plus 3. So these are the three terms which contain I, isn't it? So from these three terms, I'm taking I out, and I'm writing some x term, y term, and then constant. So x minus 2y plus 3 divided by x plus 3 whole square plus y square. This denominator is there for this whole expression. That means denominator should be taken for real part and also the imaginary part. So this is in the form of a plus ib. What is our question? U plus IV. U plus IV we have reduced to some A plus IB form. So real part will be equated with real and imaginary part with imaginary. So you have U is equal to 2x plus y plus 6 divided by x plus 3 whole square plus y square, and V is x minus 2y plus 3 divided by x plus 3 whole square plus y square. Now the problem, if you can observe, children, in all the problems, whatever we are solving, we are trying to see that I is not there in the denominator, first point. Then we are trying to reduce the problem in the form of A plus IB. Now, after reducing it in the form of A plus IB, then we are thinking what to do, whether to multiply with a conjugate or whether to go for a square root or whatever. Okay, so we'll see another problem. Another important question for 4 marks. If x plus iy is equal to 1 by 1 plus cos theta plus I sin theta, then show that 4x square minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, we are given that x plus iy is equal to 1 by 1 plus cos theta plus I sin theta. Now, you can just observe there is an I term in the denominator. That means we should multiply and divide with its conjugate. Now, what should be its conjugate? 1 plus cos theta is your real part, children. And I sin theta, this is the imaginary part, isn't it? So, the conjugate should be 1 plus cos theta minus I sin theta. So, we will multiply and divide with 1 plus cos theta minus I sin theta. We will multiply and divide. So in the numerator, we'll have 1 into this is 1 plus cos theta minus I sin theta. In the denominator, you have 1 plus cos theta whole square minus I sin theta whole square. Okay, this is A plus B whole square. So 1 plus cos square theta plus 2 cos theta. I square here, I square is minus 1. So minus 1 into this minus, it becomes plus sine square theta. Now just observe cos square plus cos square theta plus sine square theta is the identity what we have, which is equal to 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2 cos theta will be in the denominator. So we have 1 plus cos theta minus I sin theta by 2 plus 2 cos theta. We'll take 2 common in the denominator. Then you'll have 2 into 1 plus cos theta, children. And we'll try to take this denominator for real and imaginary parts separately. So we'll be taking 1 plus cos theta by 2 into 1 plus cos theta minus I into sin theta by 2 into 1 plus cos theta. Then 1 plus cos theta, it gets cancelled in the numerator and denominator here. You have x is equal to 1 by 2, isn't it? And then y is equal to, it should be minus sin theta by 2 into 1 plus cos theta. It is minus sin theta by 2 into 1 plus cos theta. Now, we need to calculate what? 4x square minus 1. So 4x square minus 1, we want only x value. We need not take what is y. So 4x square minus 1 is nothing but 4 into 1 by 2 whole square minus 1. 1 by 2, 1 square by 2 square is 1 by 4. 4 and this 4 gets cancelled. So 1 minus 1, which is nothing but 0. So this is the proof what we got. So x square minus, 4x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So there are some practice questions, children. We have seen what is square root of a complex number. You can solve these problems. I want you to try both the methods what we have discussed today, formula method and the expansion method what we have taken. And then we have find the multiplicative inverse of the following complex numbers. For this problem, multiplicative inverse of z is 1 by z. That means if you take multiplicative inverse of this, it should be 1 by root of 5 plus 3i, isn't it? So first you write what is the multiplicative inverse. Then you try to see whether you have I in the denominator. If you have I in the denominator, again you need to reduce it into a plus ib form by multiplying and dividing with its conjugate. So for all these problems, it is the same, children. For here, my suggestion for this is I power minus 35 you have. First you write it as 1 by I power 35. 35 you reduce it to the smallest value possible for I. Then you go for multiplicative inverse. Okay. Now all the remaining questions what I mean in the second section, first problem, they are similar to what we have discussed, but just observe this second problem. If you have z is equal to 3 minus 5i, then show that z cube minus 10z square plus 58z minus 136 equal to 0. And the next problem, some 3z cube minus 4z square plus z plus 88 equal to 0. Now for these two problems, my suggestion or the hint or the process to make your work easy is you calculate z cube separately. Don't take the whole equation at a time. There is a chance of getting confused. Okay. First calculate z cube, then z square, then substitute those values in the LHS and try to show that it is equal to 0. That would be very convenient for you, and you can always avoid the mistakes when you take that process. And then we will just see this third bit. Show that 2 minus I by 1 minus 2i whole square and minus 2 minus 11i by 25 are conjugate to each other. Now, how to do this problem? First, you take the first term, simplify it, try to reduce it in the form of a plus ib. After reducing that into a plus ib form, you try to write what is its conjugate. If that conjugate is equal to this term, then you say these two are conjugate to each other. Hope you got this. And then look at this problem, children. Third problem, bit 1. Now this is similar to what we have solved just now. I have taken x plus iy whole power 1 by 3. Here the question is x minus iy whole power 1 by 3. You can always solve this. And then a plus ib by a minus ib whole square. Now this problem also the same process. First you simplify the first term, then second term, then subtract one from the other. Right? The last problem, you can take LCM directly because you can see the denominators of both the terms are conjugate to each other. Isn't it? So 3 plus I into 3 minus I, both are conjugates. So 3 plus I into 3 minus I will be your LCM. Then just you can go for multiplication on the LHS part, then you can equate it to I. When you are given with I, it means that it is 0 plus I. Your real part is 0. So you simplify this, and when you are equating, please remember you should take it as 0 plus I. Otherwise, the real part, again, you may have a confusion what to equate with, isn't it? So you can write I as 0 plus I. Now, suppose if you are given with some 1, then how do you take 1 plus I into 0? Isn't it? So x, y are real numbers here. Just to simplify this first, then you try to find out what are x and y by equating LHS and RHS. Now, these are the practice questions, children. Thank you. Any doubts, madam?
Doubts same conpiled, madam.
Thank you, sir.
It was really a very good session. I hope the students will go home and practice the problems and clarify their doubts with their teachers and get confirmed that they have understood the chapter very well. Thank you very much, madam.
And today, whatever we have discussed, we have tried to cover for 4 mark questions, sir.
Okay.
So that will be a useful one.
Oh, that's nice, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome, ma'am.